All right, it's our first frosty cold day here for the chicks. They're gonna walk around the frosty. I don't know if you can see slight frost. It's 30, it was got up to 37 today. You can see my roof has frost on it. Right there, you can see the difference right around the sun, the skylight. You can see the frost. And the chickens took off this morning because they are cold. They're going to the front of the house where the sun is beaming at the south for most of the day. I was checking my dehydrated stuff. My potatoes, I think this was because these potatoes were cheap. They were just bad. And I'm going to end up throwing all of this out. All of my potatoes, dehydrated potatoes, they have those white dots on them. And I've dehydrated potatoes before, and I have not had such a bad look. And they have the oxygen absorber and all of that. So I'm just going to get rid of these, and I'm going to end up canning my potatoes this year. That's right, canning. Today is my big day for canning. It's Sunday, and my whole day I'm going to dedicate it just to canning. I did can some beef stew, and I'll show you here. This is it, the moment of truth where I get to open my first time using the Nesco canner. And let's see how this came out. This is beef stew that I ate today. I was only able to make 3 of the pint jars. Let's see, this is my first time doing this with this apparatus. Look at that. Oh, it's still bubbling in there. Oh, how beautiful. Look at that. It's still bubbling. Look at the bubbles. Oh my gosh, I can't get over how beautiful they look. That was the first canning that I ever did, was beef stew, and I'm super excited because now I have one for prepping. I have one for those days where I just need a meal and I don't have time. And number 3, I have one for camping. And that gets me excited to realize that canning is a great thing for RVing as well. So something that I'm learning, I've been learning for a couple of weeks now, and I have my pressure canner and I'm all set up. So I wanted to show you some of the things that I'm doing today. It's my all-day canning day. First thing I did was I bleached, clean all of my counters because I want to make sure everything is super clean. I'm going to get started with my potatoes first, and then I'm going to make mushroom soup. I'm going to be pressure canning today. In my laundry room, I have my roaster oven that I brought out. I haven't used this in like a long time. What I have in here are my jars that are heating up with the lids and the rims. So I'm going to be using the big quart jars for my potatoes. And then I have my Nesco Carrey canner over here. And the reason I put it in my laundry room is because last time I had it in the kitchen and my AC is on and it's hot. It gets hot because this thing is spewing out all the time. It's spewing out just like a regular American canner. And it gets hot in the house, and I'm in Florida, so I don't want to heat up my house. And I have a door here to the kitchen. So if I have these 2 hot things in the laundry, it's away from the part of the house that I'm working in and staying in. But I can still hear the beeping that I need to hear in order to do the right things with the canner. And that's why, because I had it here the other day when I did my beef stew, and it was just hot in the house. I had to bring down the AC. We're in the 80s back again, so our cool weather has gone away for a while, but I'm still excited for the fall. I need to peel all of these potatoes so I can process them in the canner. Then while that is processing in the canner, I'm going to be making a mushroom soup that I'm going to be putting into pint-sized jars so I can make recipes in the future with that. And I have my iPad here so I can watch some videos because there's nothing worse than boring peeling potatoes. But that's what I'm going to be doing now. But I have to let the potatoes soak for at least an hour in lemon juice, which I already have here in my big bowl, in order to can them so that I have them for French fries and for hash browns, especially for camping. I love hash brown and eggs for camping. So that is something that I'm super excited to do so that when I go camping, I can bring those. And you know, camping season is coming up, so I'm super excited about that. Nice cubed potatoes. I bought this years ago for dehydrating because I have a dehydrator, and this is great because it comes with all of these different cuts, and it just makes it so much easier when you're gonna do a big batch of dehydrating, but it also works for canning. All right, so I have that whole entire bag of potatoes. I think it was 5 pounds of potatoes in here. So for the first one is, this is water with lemon juice in all of these, and I wanted to separate them because I'm going to can them separately. So this is shredded for hash browns. This is going to change my world because I do not like the ones in the store. So hopefully this will change my life so I can start bringing these camping because I love hash browns in the morning. Okay, so then I have those soaking there. These have been soaking the longest. You have to soak them for an hour, so I have that there. Then I have my rustic cut here because I was kind of trying the different blades for my machine that's here, and it has different blades, and I forgot what the cuts were, so I was just kind of playing with it. So this is like rough chop, and this is good for mashed potatoes. This is good for throwing in a stew or anything that I just need some potatoes. And then I have, of course, my cubed potatoes. This is also for cooking fast. If I wanted to make something, I have these potatoes already nice and quick. Because remember, these potatoes are going to just be thrown in a meal, and it's going to be so fast because they're already so small and they're going to be pretty much cooked in the pressure cooker. I'm going to rinse them in the colander really well. I'm going to rinse them several times, and then I'm going to start packing my jars. So I just rinsed the potatoes off in the colander. I have them in a salad spinner because you want them as dry as possible. They're still going to be moist. They're going to retain moisture, so they'll cook in the jar. Hash browns here, which is perfect. That size is perfect for me. Then I got a big one in case I have company or whatever. So I'm going to process these now. This water is already warm. I'm just going to go ahead and fill this to the line that it says on the canner. And with this canner, you have to put the water in after you put the jars in. So let me check here where I'm at. And it's really hard because you got to be able to see the 8 mark there. So I'm still ways away, so cleaning all of these potatoes and processing them, this takes a lot of time. Okay, so I think we're there. I'm going to go ahead and set the timer for this. It's going to be on high. Okay, so 45 minutes. It's going to be venting all the time because that's what maintains the pressure. You don't want super amounts of pressure in there. And we're still at 16 minutes left. So I'm preparing the next batch. This water's still hot. I got my next batch in there, just kind of sitting there waiting. I'm going to make my mushroom soup. I'm just cleaning my mushrooms so that I can take advantage of the space in the canner. It's the next day, and I just wanted you to see all the cans. I'm going to label them now. I'm going to check them. I'm going to take off this, and I'm going to lift them up from this just to make sure that they're sealed. This one is my hash brown potato. This one is my mushroom soup. Another mushroom soup, and another mushroom soup. These are great for recipes because I don't have to buy the canned. Then this is just regular potatoes that I can saute, have a meal with. This is more shredded potatoes. You can see I fill this jar up to the top, and you only get like that much because it goes down a lot. It's just more potatoes, more potatoes, more potatoes, more potatoes. So I have lots of potatoes, and I'm really happy about that. This is why I love this canner, because it's so simple for me to can during the day. I did chicken breast, and this is hamburger meat in these 3. Now I use the small pints because it's only me here, and you know, this is great for like 2 tacos. And you know, spaghetti sauce I don't need a lot because I'm by myself. So I thought if I had another person with me, I can use 2. So that's why this is great for me. And then I did the bigger chickens, but I had the smaller one too because I can also do like chicken tacos or something like that. So I love this. You can see it's still boiling. I just took them out. This is so amazing to me. I love this concept of canning foods. It just makes so much sense. This thing is so easy, and that's exactly what I wanted. So if you just plan things correctly, you know, you can can lots of things. Like if I had a soup I was going to make, I'd make extra soup. And then since I have to put it on the same time, depending on the size, this was processed at 75 minutes because it's a pint and half pints, or 75 minutes, where a quart is like 90 minutes. So I can, during the week, you know, have leftovers. I can put them in a jar and put some other things in other jars and just do it and just get it done. Good morning, and this is why I love to can in my canner. So last night I was watching some television, and then during that time I was able to can because I'm able to watch television and then come over here and wait for the machine to beep so that I can move the exhaust and do all the things that it needs to. I don't have to be outside or anything like that. So I did small batch because this machine only takes small batches. So perfect for me. So I was able to make evaporated milk. It's actually milk. It's recanned store-bought milk that I put into jars. So this is a gallon of milk, but I had maybe a little bit more than half the gallon left. And for me by myself, that's going to be too much. So I decided to make evaporated milk for recipes. If I can add this to, sometimes you need milk for certain recipes and I don't have any at home. So I canned it this way. I did two half pints for recipes. And then if I wanted to drink milk, I did this one. So if the evaporated milks cost $2 in the store right now, that's two, but this is a little bit, this is actually a little bit more than a can. I would say probably a can is about this much. So I'm getting a little bit more. So let's say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This is $10 of cans that I paid. I think it was $4 for because it was regular milk. It's not organic milk because I'm testing this. Once I learned well how to do the milk, I'll start buying better quality in order to can, like organic or fresh. I did heat this up slightly to about 100 degrees before I put it in the here into the canner because the canner was steaming my jars in the meantime, and I didn't want to put cold milk into warm jars. I pressure canned this for the recommended time, and it's perfect. It's just perfect. See, it's nice and sealed. So I took the rims off, and this is how you check. Now, I did this the night before I took the rims off. I waited about 3 hours and took the rims off, and that's because if something was not sealed, I want to be able to put it in my refrigerator overnight. I did not want to leave it overnight. So you see, these are all nice and sealed because I'm lifting them up from the rings. Now I'm going to actually label them, put what they are, and I'm going to put a date on this. So now I have a good amount of milk. Ferment is something that I've been doing recently, have learned. I did a ferment with my peas, with my fresh peas and some spices in there. Garlic and onion and I think some dill was in here. This one is a red onion relish that I made, which is super great in sandwiches. I had a tuna sandwich yesterday and I put some of this relish. It was so delicious. I have red onion, red pepper that I just cut, and I put in some red pepper, some turmeric, and some cumin, and I'm just squashing it up and just mashing it to let the juices come out, because the juices is what's going to ferment. And then I'm going to put it in a wide mouth jar. So how I would use this is I can put this over steak, I can put this over rice, I can put it in a salad, I can put it over the chicken as well. There's a lot of options with things like this, especially if you're traveling. This is my new preferred way to travel, is with mason jars and ferments, because I can do this on the road as well. I want to make sure everything is under the brine. This is another ferment recipe. This is just chopped up kale with some fermented beets, and I put some of that onion, it's like an onion pepper relish over that. I put some olive oil and some apple cider vinegar and a little bit of salt, and that's my salad for today. I'm just going to stir it up, and I'm going to have that today. So this is how simple that it is to bring lots of veggies on the road with you when you travel and make quick salads on the road. And this is my fermented salsa. I'm going to show you how easy it is to make a quick bowl with ferment. This is a tomato salsa ferment that I've had in the fridge, and today I'm in a hurry to cook dinner, so I made some white rice. You can see the rice down at the bottom. Then I cooked some fish, which has breading on it, and it's nice and crispy. Then I put some greens. I happen to have chard on here because it's what I had on hand. and just chopped up raw, and then I put some cheddar cheese, and then I put that over. Now I'm gonna cut up cilantro and put it over, and it makes a great bowl when you're in a hurry. This to me is awesome food because not only is it good for you, but it's already prepped. Here is my Haymaker's Punch when I can drink today, which is made from lemon juice and apple cider vinegar, which is so good and refreshing. The longer I let it sit, the sweeter and better it gets, so I'm letting that sit. This is an apple relish that I made. It's got some red pepper and some apples. It's really delicious, got a lot of spices. So I'm gonna have that with chicken this week. This is my fermented salad. These are cherry tomatoes, and this is arugula from my garden. And I added some of the sauerkraut that I fermented, that's in my refrigerator. And now this is chicken thighs that I have here, chicken thigh, boneless. I'm gonna put some of this apple relish in there. It's gonna be super delicious. This is fermented as well. This is my dinner. I want you to see that I'm drinking a probiotic lemonade, which is called Haymaker's Punch. And I'm having some yellow grits with cheddar cheese, one of my favorites. Muffin is super excited. She knows we're eating good today. And then this is my beets that are in here. I've had that for a while, so I'm slowly eating that with salad. Something that I'm going to take on the road with me when I travel, because I just love using this type of situation for traveling, and I will bring you that in the future. All right, so I want to show you, today is cleaning the refrigerator day, and I had like a quarter of a cabbage left. I had a couple of carrots left, just a few, very little. I shredded that in my food processor, and I put in some chopped apples in here and some green scallions. You can see that those were also left over in my fridge. So nothing in my fridge goes old because I can ferment this. And what I put in here was 1 teaspoon of salt, and I mashed everything in. So what I'm waiting is for the cabbage to release its liquid with the salt, and I'm gonna let it sit here on the counter for a while. And then I'm going to pour the water in my mason jar, and I'm going to have a ferment. Open. So what this does is keeps me from having to open this and burping this every single day. It's automatic. It's looking really good, and I'm going to come back in a few days and show you that. This is a fried egg over some plain toast, and the way that I'm going to dress this up is I'm going to put some of this kraut relish on top of my egg. It's going to be so good. I already put a little bit of salt on the egg, but this adds a whole different depth of flavor to the egg, and it's good for you too. So that's about enough for me. It's just really to flavor, and it's really good bacteria that's going in my stomach for breakfast. That's my ferments, and it's making noise. Do you hear it? I think it's the one of the beets. It's so fermented, it's making noise. Nowadays, I have a lot going on here. I have apples in here for applesauce, and I'm going to can tomorrow. I just put this on airtight here. This is my canned mushrooms that I'm canning in jars, so I have mushrooms in their broth. And then I have a bread rising over here so that I can bake that off later. I got 4 half pints of applesauce, and I have some left over in my fridge for this week so that I can enjoy them for breakfast. So these are great. I can bring these camping with me as well when I want to have some toast. And this is just water bath. This is just cover it with water for the allotted amount of time, and that's it. So you don't even need a canner for this. This is actually going to be a steam water bath because that's the function that I have here. I'm not going to fill it with more water to the jars to the top. I'm going to actually steam. That's why I can use such a little bit of water, because with this machine I can steam water bath. The water bath is 20 minutes for the half pints that I have here. Water bath, steam, and then press start. And now I'm going to close the lid. If I forget to close the lid, see, it's going to tell me. And then I'm just going to turn that lid, and I have to have it on exhaust when steam canning. It's got to be on exhaust. It cannot be on airtight. Airtight is only when it's pressure canned, when the machine tells you to put it on airtight. Now that's it. I set it and forget it, and I will have applesauce for the next month. This is the jar that I poured into the half pint, 3 pounds of apples. I think they were gala apples what I used, because those were on sale. So I got that much. And now if you don't want to cook it down as much as me, you want it a little bit looser, you'll probably have just a little bit more. I did eat some of this yesterday, so it probably filled it to the top, but I did eat some of this when I made it yesterday. It was nice and warm. Only bad thing about cooking days is all of the washing that I do. I don't use my dishwasher because it uses too much electricity. And it's just, I prefer just to do this and let it dry, and then I put it away before bed. I like to start in the kitchen in the morning with a nice clean kitchen. I'll show you that my pantry is getting full, building it up slowly, slowly, slowly. I have a lot of things that I've canned so far, and I'm continuing to can as I go. I've got some new produce in the refrigerator that I'm going to get canned this week. I also keep a thermometer in here so I know how hot it's getting in here. Make sure that it doesn't get too warm in here for my food. So I'll be filling these spaces in the next few days as well. At the rate that I'm going canning so many things, I think I'm going to need a bigger pantry. That's something I'm going to have to look into. Thanks for watching. If you like these kind of videos, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.